Welcome into the Clout Demonz. Welcome back to the Clout Demonz. It's been a minute since we've been here, but it feels good to be back. In case y'all forgot about us, I'm Bree, joined with TJ, Jamil, Ron, and Stewie behind the keyboard. We have a pretty packed show tonight for y'all, and it's going to be fun. We have a guest coming on later in the show. It'll be fun to talk to him, and we have a lot to get to. I want to start with the MLB draft going on right now. Jacob Berry was selected in the first round, 6th pick by the Miami Marlins. So huge pickup for Jacob Berry to go that high. He was predicted to go that high in the draft, and it's great seeing the success that he's had at Arizona, and then coming to LSU and having the success he's had at the plate and on the field. So we'll see where the rest of this draft goes, who else is going to go, what LSU commits out of high school are going to decide to either go to the big show or stay and come to college. We already know that Paxton Kling, an LSU commit, has decided to take his name out of the draft and draft eligibility and come to LSU, which is huge, and that's major for LSU baseball and big for Coach Johnson. And Johnson already shared a tweet that he's so proud of Jacob Berry, and I'm sure Jacob Berry is probably over the moon to be selected that high in the draft and be able to go down to South Beach and hit some Berry bombs down there. Moving on to LSU football, big week for LSU football. I think the biggest news of the week was it was announced that Kayshon is the new number 7. Big playmaker, to honor for him to have a number like that. Every number 7 that's come before him has been a huge playmaker, has changed the status of the game on the field, and has the ability to do that every time he steps on the field. And I think Kayshon's somebody that's really worked for that and has proved that. So what do y'all think about him getting number 7?
Yeah, I think there was really no better person than Kayshon for number 7. Everything he means to the team, to LSU. It was a lot of controversy with him leaving when the coaching changed and all that had happened, but he stuck through it. He fought through his injury. He's rehabbed. His numbers on the field before he got hurt showed that he was by far our best player and our superstar. And like I like to say, he's probably the best wide receiver in the country. So I hope that he lives to the hype of 7. I hope he has a great comeback season and the legacy that he has the potential of leaving this season. What better way to go out than with that 7 on your chest? So yeah.
You look at the 7s that have come before him, people like Tyrann, Patrick Peterson, even Stingley. Jamar was supposed to be number 7 before he decided to opt out of his junior season. All of those guys have gone on to have great careers in the NFL and at the next level. And Kayshon has the ability to do that just as great as they did. But it's something we talked about before the show. Another really coveted number other than number 7 is number 18. It's been a tradition at LSU. It's a little bit different. 7's, more for that playmaker, that guy that can take it to the next level on the field and really change the whole feel of the game on the field. But number 18 is more of that guy who's a leader both on and off the field. He has that command in the locker room where all these guys respect him, and he's that leader for the entire team, and everybody looks up to him for his character and who he is, not just as a player, but like as a person. And we were talking about how, some people believe that 18 should just be a regular number, and it shouldn't have that meaning behind it. Why do you think that?
I mean, look, I don't want to be the person that's like taking numbers out of LSU history and stuff. We understand what 18 means to LSU and Matt Malk and Jacob Hester, but like with a new coach and a new regime, they should just do away with it, because every year we make a big deal out of it. Like Damone Clark wore it for 2 years. Like, I mean, At this point, it's like, all right, cool. Like, I felt like he wanted to keep 35. Yeah. He didn't even want 18. So, I mean,
but he
did fit the mold of 18. But at this point, it's like, it's kind of just become repetitive to me. I
remember national championship season, Caleb Von Chason was the number 18 for that season. And I remember I asked him in a press conference or whatever It was, I'm not sure if it was the SEC championship or it was one of the playoff
Like
games.
Bowl.
Peach Bowl, maybe,
There.
where they had caught him on the sidelines, like, he was going off, like, on his teammates. He was like, we whooping their ass right now. Like, what are y'all doing? Like, because they were, like, getting rowdy and, like, trying to cause mess or whatever. And, like, they were talking about how he's number 18. He's showing that leadership. He's embodying that number 18. And I asked him about it, and he was like, I'm just doing what I do.
Right.
He was like, I'm just doing what I always do as a player. He was like, you know, numbers, you know, whatever, that doesn't define who I am. I'm just going to do what I'm going to do regardless.
That's how I feel about it. Like, if they do decide to continue it and keep the legacy of the leadership meaning or whatever the case may be, it shouldn't matter whether or not you wear 18 if you're going to be a leader or not. If you're wearing number 1, if you're wearing number 99, whatever the case, or 0 even, you should be a leader regardless. So a number doesn't define you. 7 doesn't define you. You should be playing to the standard that's meant to be played for the LSU that's on your jersey, the name that's behind on your back, not necessarily just for the number in which you're wearing, even though that's a plus. So if they do away with it, I don't think it'll be the worst thing. It'll just become another number. And the guys who have worn it and lived up to the legacy of 18, that was great. But like it's a new chapter, a new book. And with that, sometimes like some traditions, it's okay for them to be broken. Not all traditions are meant to stay a tradition for 100 years. We may not have 118s. Maybe it just may be the best to keep a 7. That way we eliminate some of the controversy and things they just get so caught up in the offseason. Oh, who's going to wear this number? Who's going to wear 7? Who's going to wear 18? And battling that out, like, it doesn't have to be that big of a deal, I don't think. So if they have 18, cool. I think it's a couple of good guys who fit the mold of 18, like BJ I mentioned in the past.
That was going to be my next question. Who do you think kind of like fits that mold of like that leadership position?
I would say off rip, like BJ Ojolari, Ali Gay would be like some people who I could see them giving that number to. Agreed. Just because of their not only their performance on the field, but their leadership and the leadership on the D-line, on the defense. The defense is the biggest position, so I like when kind of defensive players get it. But Avery Atkins, I mean, look at him. He was a punter, and he may not have been the loudest guy in the locker room or whatnot, but he still was a leader. He was
respected.
He showed
by everybody in the locker room.
He showed what it meant to to be a LSU football player. Right. He was a leader. He showed up on time. He handled his business in the classroom. All those good things. He's a great young man on and off the field, outside of football. So we'll see what happens.
You know, another thing I think about with number 18, especially as of recently, was that Alabama game this year. On like both sides for Avery Atkins and Demonz Clark. I mean, that defense shut Alabama's offense down, and that was mostly led by Demonz Clark making all those stops. And then Avery Atkins on that first drive with the fake punt to get him, you know, another 25 yards down the field and, you know, eventually get that touchdown on the first drive. That was huge for them. And for them having both such great nights kind of just like solidified, like kind of like showed LSU fans like this is why we're number 18, because we're able to do these things. And, you know, command the attention of everyone watching. So, I mean, I don't know what's going to happen with number 18. I know that BK said that he wants the team to make that decision. Will they make that decision? Who knows? Sometimes they make those decisions right before, you know, the season starts or, you know, around fall camp. So we might have to wait to see if they're going to bring it back. But, I mean, if they don't, I mean, we still have the tradition of number 7. And, you know, LSU football is just a huge tradition type of place anyway, so I don't think it's really gonna change the culture or anything if we take away number 18, because we've had 2 number 18s for the last 3 seasons.
And also, I mean, with players, they kind of they choose their jersey numbers like that means a lot to them. Those are jerseys. Somebody could have 18 and that's not the number they necessarily wanted, and they may want to have number 8 or 7 or whatever the case the number may be, and then just like those jerseys end up sometimes becoming worth a lot of money and whatnot, and they may want to have the jersey number they wore in high school. Or, you know, Seven Banks had told us how he got his name of 7. Like, if he could have gotten the number 7, that would have just been more meaning to him personally. So I feel like some people, they get attached to their numbers mean different things. So you can't get mad at some guys if they don't necessarily want to have that number, because at the end of the day, that's the number that they have to wear and their name is on it. So
yeah. Another big thing for LSU this week was recruiting. They are now ranked number 8 in the country as of today with 16 commits, 1 5-star, 10 4-stars, and 5 3-stars on the list for the 2023 class. Big 5-star out of Miami. What was his name? Jalen Brown. I think, Jalen Brown was his name. He committed out of Miami. We still have the potential to get another 5-star in Shelton Sampson. Big thing last weekend was the Shelton Stays hashtag that the whole fan base, all the players, coaches, everyone put out to try to, get him to commit to LSU. That would be huge for LSU to add that to, their recruiting roster and get all those guys signed. I think the biggest thing now that you got all these commitments is to keep them from flipping. Keep them from flipping their commitments to another school. You got to keep pushing your narrative of why they chose to commit here and why they should choose to stay here.
Absolutely.
Because it's so easy for them to decommit and go somewhere else. And you got all this time before signing day. I mean, early signing day isn't even until December. And then you got another one in February and then March, April. So getting these guys to be able to stay committed to LSU and not let other schools that are probably still calling their phone and getting them to flip their commitment, let them waver. Yeah. So I think that'll be huge. And I mean, a lot of people were saying that, BK can't recruit. BK can't recruit. BK can't keep guys in Louisiana and da-da-da-da-da-da. But I mean, he's shown that he can. And within the last 2 weeks, majority of his commitments came from the last couple of weeks. So I think that says a lot about him, and it says a lot not only about him, but the whole recruiting staff. I mean, Jordy had a couple of the recruiters come on the show this past week, and they were kind of selling their story on how they sell, their recruiting tactics and how they get guys to come to LSU. So I think the recruiting future is bright and can only really go up from here. What do y'all think?
Yeah, I definitely shout out to the recruiting department of LSU football and what they're doing. They're doing a phenomenal job considering where we were just 7 short months ago. I must say, like you said, Bree, it's a lot of time left. And what I've learned through my time in recruiting, especially during this summer and fall months, that we're playing every week. Other schools are playing every week. They're still recruiting daily. So you have to actively still recruit those kids now all the way up until signing day, all the way up until they get on campus. And even when they're on campus recruiting is a major factor because you still have to show the kid that they're wanted here. So we just have to do our part, I say, making sure we're maintaining the commitments, making sure that we're performing on the field. Because I remember national championship season, I had came in and started working with the recruiting department the week before we played Georgia Southern. The recruits we were looking at, they were the same, but the levels in which the recruits were interacting with us altered as the season went on. We went from having those 3-4-star caliber guys flirting with us to we had Caleb Williams and all the top-notch 5-star guys coming in and week out. And as we performed better, our games got better. We started getting the primetime night games. We played Alabama. I can tell you, I know that there were a couple recruits at that time that we were recruiting. That Alabama game was that determining factor. And the thing that sucks for us is we get Alabama the week going into signing day. Always, it never fails. So I know that there were guys who were on the fence we're committed to LSU, but they go to Tuscaloosa and get blown out. What we going to come to,
Also, I think, this is Brian Kelly's first year at LSU, a brand new coaching staff, a whole new team, whole new scheme, and how they play. I think, how they play on the field this season is going to determine where a lot of guys choose to commit or decommit.
Yeah, what if they don't fit in with the scheme?
If this season's a complete flop, they're going to decommit. And, I mean, that's kind of inevitable, and they are doing the best thing that is for them in their football career. But, say LSU has a great season, better than what anybody expects, then that's going to obviously get more commitments, get some guys to, turn over from whatever school they committed to come to LSU, and that's going to put a boost in recruiting. So recruiting never stops necessarily.
Things are going to change. We can look at these 16 commits and say, we're doing a phenomenal job. Alabama only has 12. Some schools have 9. It's so much time left. Anything can happen tomorrow. Something can happen in a month. we don't know. So it's just important that we don't get complacent. And I would say that our most important thing is not getting complacent. Oh, we're getting this guy. We got this guy. We got this wide receiver. No, like, still recruit to the highest level possible, because anything can happen. And that's for any program. Like, there's a kid right now who could be committed to Alabama, who could be committed to Texas A&M. Eric Gilbert, prime example. We knew after he left his visit, late October, I think it was like after the Florida game, he had came. We knew that we were on a good foot with him, but we didn't know we were going to get him until I remember we was on the practice field, and it was like 5 o'clock, and everybody just started running up and down his field, and they was like, yo, we got him. We didn't know for sure that we were going to get him. So I think that a large contributing factor into our recruiting, Eric, into getting guys like BJ to decommit from Tennessee 2 weeks later and then commit to LSU on the same day or the same week. That happens as the season goes, as we show how we perform as a team, how we face adversity. All those things are going to be factors that recruits are looking at, their parents are looking at, and is going to affect where we stand in recruiting come signing day period.
Yeah, I remember in 2019, after we beat Bama, a lot of LSU players, like, they were talking to the fans in the stand. It was like, come to LSU, like, if you want to win. And, like, a lot of people, like, flipped their commitment to LSU after that.
Yeah, that was that video from that year. That video, it was like Alabama, they sit their recruits right there behind the end zone, and that was the tunnel that Alabama comes out. So when they were coming out, Alabama was coming out the field, and all the LSU guys was
Our whole secondary was over there.
All the LSU guys was running up, and I remember Marcel Brooks, like, he was lit. He was talking all the trash, like, LSU, where is that? Like, ain't no more Bama dynasty. Like,
nobody was expecting.
Ross
I mean, it's like, I think that's like, everybody knew LSU was good in 2019. Like, before they played Bama, everybody knew LSU was good. But it was like, are you good enough to beat Bama?
That was the stamp.
Like, that was like the standard of, are you good or are you great? Mm-hmm. And they proved themselves to be great in that game. And that kind of like set the tone for the rest of the season and kind of showed everybody, okay, this team can win a national championship. Joe Burrow can win a Heisman. Like, just the numbers from that game, the energy from that game, being in Tuscaloosa for that game, like, the energy was unmatched. And seeing all those guys run up, you know, you have to rethink. If you're a guy, you're 17 years old, 16 years old, and you're committed to Alabama, and you see that happen, you see this team take down Alabama as long as this rivalry has been going on, and you see this happen after 8 years of losing to Alabama. You see a 20-point lead in the first half of the game, and you're like, damn, LSU might be where it's at in Tuscaloosa. LSU might be where it's at. And then, you know, you got a lot of guys rethinking that, and that really set the tone for recruiting that year, and recruiting, like, skyrocketed, you know, in the top 3 in recruiting that whole year. And you get some of the best guys in the country to come down. And then, I mean, unfortunately, the very next season.
How many of those?
I mean, if you think about it, look at the guys that we were recruiting at the time of the national championship. But although we had
answer a question for me. How many of those dudes are still at LSU?
I just looked at it, and majority of the guys are still here. So from that class, Eric's gone, Elias is gone, but then you have Kayshon, J. Roy, Phillip Webb, Jordan Toles.
Phillip Webb just retired from football.
Yeah, B.J. Ojolari, Jacoby and Guillory, Antoine Sampa still here, Marcus Dumerville still here, Trey Bradford, Josh White left, Max Johnson left, Eric Taylor, I think he's still here. Eric Taylor,
the lineman, the defensive tackle.
Yeah, I think he's still here because I feel like I see him around. Not sure.
What number is he? 81? Is he 81? No, that's not him.
Dwight is gone. Coy is gone. We have Marlon Martinez. Alex Adams is gone. We still have Cole Taylor, Ali Gay, Xavier here, and TJ Finley's gone. But even by that time, we had kind of already started shifting our focus. Like, we knew our 2022 guys were good. Locking in guys like Elias, Kayshon, like, those were our big, Jaqueline, those was our big guys that we really wanted to make sure we got here. But then that next, like, when we were focusing on that next class, Mason Smith, Sage Ryan, Derek Davis, Chris Hilton, Garrett Nussmeier, I feel like you look at guys like Garrett Nussmeier, what we were able to do in recruiting with him and show him, like, look, we have Joe Burrow, you know, we have, at that time, Joe Brady was recruiting him, so he had it all, had a platform. Brian Thomas, another good guy. Garrett Dellinger, Armani Goodwin still here. We lost Landon Jackson and Corey Kiner, but Bryce Langston. So we still have majority
That's
of
what I
the
was talking
guys
about.
that
Bryce
we
Langston.
yeah, we still got them, like Greg Penn, Xavier Carler, Malik Neighbors, Jack Besh, Matthew Langlos. Like, that's our.
And I mean,
But-
some of those guys didn't necessarily leave because like LSU's a bad school. Some of them left for like personal reasons.
Yeah, Corey
like
Kiner.
But the
Eric,
names
Corey
you-
Kiner.
The names you just read off that are still here are majority of them are Louisiana kids, right?
Mhm.
Yep.
And we had Frank Wilson here the other day, and he told us, like, the kids that stay here, that wait their turn, are Louisiana kids because they don't have nowhere else to go.
Mhm.
Because if they leave LSU, it's like they go back home, and it's like, bro, why you not at LSU?
I mean, but
Yeah.
that's just
Yeah.
the joy of having a school like LSU in Louisiana. Like, growing, like, I'm from Georgia, y'all know, but everybody's dream school not going to Georgia. Like, people,
Exactly.
if I'm being honest, like, people thinking about going to LSU, going to Alabama, Clemson, those schools. Like, nobody's like waking up and like, oh,
I want to go to
I want UGA.
Go to
But when
Athens.
you're in LA, when you're in Louisiana and growing up in Louisiana, what I've seen in my time here is that, like, it's everybody's dream to come and play at LSU. Like, if you play football in youth, pee-wee, high school, middle school, like, once you get that LSU offer, like, you got that home team, like, you got the state behind you.
Facts.
It's just different here. I feel like another school that kind of has that kind of brand would be like Texas, even in the, like, years ago. But when you are from Texas, like, growing up, I'm from Texas originally, but y'all get that. But, like, growing up, everybody knows UT. Texas A&M's not a factor. Texas Tech's not a factor. Everybody's looking at, they want to wear that burnt orange and white. So it just speaks to the uniqueness of LSU. And I think Jordan has spoken to that too. Like, he's from Louisiana, and now, you know, being able to be like, this school fits your culture. This school knows about you. Your family can fit in. Like,
It's home.
it's home.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's home, and there's no place like it. Literally, no place like it. So hopefully we could get like guys like Shelton Sampson with that, because we got Caleb Jackson from Baton Rouge. So,
He ain't gotta go far.
yeah, he don't
He
gotta
gotta
up
go
the
like
street.
15 minutes
Yeah.
down the road.
Exactly, and I mean,
He could live
if
at
I'm,
home
If I'm
if he wanted
Shelton,
to.
my thing is, you from Louisiana, Odell, Jarvis, the names go on, like wide receiver, you like, it really is no other place to go. But we saw what happened with guys like Devontae Smith. So
Yeah, but
Stu said he gonna let that one breathe.
I think Shelton Sampson, his top schools are LSU, Alabama, and A&M. But I think the top two are LSU and A&M.
That sounds about right.
accurate,
Yeah.
I mean, LSU you're gonna play, and you
mean,
might
he's
get a
gonna
chance
play-
to win a
look.
championship. Bama, I mean A&M,
He's
you're gonna
play
get
wherever
paid.
he goes.
Texas got all the NIL
But see,
money
the thing
right now.
is,
Yeah.
the thing is, I mean, like Texas A&M beat Bama last year.
Why do you think
Texas,
UT got 3 5-stars?
Texas A&M
got
not a
two.
bad school if you look at their roster right now. So they can really make a push this season to be a top 6 team in football.
Talking about Texas?
Texas
Texas.
A&M.
But
my
even
bad.
though
A&M.
Texas A&M got like all of the good offers and stuff like with NIL, I think that Texas will be better than Texas A&M this year, just like offensive wise. I believe.
I
so.
agree.
Texas will be better than Texas.
Yeah.
They'll have a better
offensive.
offense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Texas, hey, give it about 2 years. I don't even say 3. In 2 years, Texas gonna find all their pieces really clicking, and
I don't think they'll still be like SEC caliber once they get to SEC, but I mean they'll get there eventually.
that's gonna
Yeah.
take them adjusting. Their transformation to the SEC.
It's different.
They're not gonna. I don't think they're gonna come in at all and just start
I don't think so
coming
Definitely
out
either.
with
not.
beating
Especially
some of
not
these top,
OU.
especially if they in the SEC West.
Yeah, but I was about to say in the
If
SEC
y'all in
West, they're not
SEC
gonna
West,
do
y'all
shit.
can call
If
it
you go in
quits.
the East, you go play somebody. I mean, like
It's gonna be
the
Vanderbilt.
state of where Florida's at right now. I mean, Texas could probably go in there and put some game up with Florida.
Yeah, and
but
it's
I
a
don't
different
think
environment.
Texas or OU go come up in here and like go toe to toe with somebody like Alabama.
Especially not
And
OU, but OU definitely always keeps some dogs, but it's a different like level.
OU is always good. And then whenever they get to, the playoffs and they got to play somebody from the SEC, they flop.
I think
Man,
that was,
Well, I don't think
I was
OU
about
gonna
to say, I think that's a
they're
little
they're
more-
going through a rebuilding
I think
period
that was
at
a
this
little more
point.
Lincoln Riley.
Yeah, that's
That
Lincoln
man
Riley,
Lincoln.
which is
Like
why
that-
he
that's-
He's scared of
that's
the
from the
SEC.
top down. That ain't even like a
Yeah.
like a team thing. That's like a
Like
coaching
LSU put
mentality
up,
type
like
thing.
Justin Jefferson alone had 4 touchdowns in the first half. Like put up almost 50 points on them.
They quit.
And those
Before the
schools-
halftime.
And then the thing is, those schools in the Big in the
Big
Big
12.
12, yeah. Those schools are used to having those 50-point games from both teams. But like we were scoring and beating them defensive. They didn't have no type of offense.
They had no chance.
They didn't have no chance on offense. And so like I feel like that's where we're gonna see the difference when they come in. Like majority of the stadiums in the SEC, their environments don't even compare.
They don't have that same type of dog.
Texas is the
At
only
all.
school in the Big 12 that has
And Texas don't even
in their
have
stadium after going to the Texas LSU game, like even though we were at the top, like their stadium was dry. And all day I just kept saying like this is lame, like this is lame. Their tailgating scene was different. The night before the game there was like we didn't even know where the fans or the students was. We was driving around campus and we're like
Should have went to
where's
6th Street.
Yeah, so then we found out that 6th Street was the thing and we was like, bro, like this is the life
What's
of the
that?
park.
Austin.
6th Street
Austin.
is like Bourbon Street for Austin. So it's like where
It's not
it's
bourbon,
their
though.
It's not bourbon.
It's not bourbon at all.
I've never
It's
been to
very,
Austin, so I
very
don't know.
much watered down,
But their
but
campus is beautiful.
their campus
Really?
is nice. But like they're going up against schools such as Baylor and those smaller stadiums. Like going into Florida Stadium is not an easy task at
No.
all. Like the swamp is deep and they're
Serious.
loud. Coming into our stadium, coming into stadiums like Kyle Field, like that's going to be different for schools like OU. Their biggest game every year is the Big 12 championship in the
Yeah, probably
Red River rivalry. Other than that, Baylor Stadium don't have nothing compared to what you're gonna play in Tiger Stadium for 3.5 hours.
They're going to get a big wake
Yeah,
up call.
it's gonna be a
when they
wake up
get
call
to
for them
SEC.
schools. So I don't. Granted, they have a great recruiting class. Their class by their third year at Texas is gonna be some dogs. It's gonna be NFL talent. I don't know if they're going to be able to match up with the caliber of play that happens in the SEC week in and week out.
I don't think their fan base is ready for that either.
I think the
Texas
only
fans
program-
soft.
The only program that could probably like last in SEC is probably like Baylor women's basketball because they play like that level of competition a little bit. But everybody else, I don't think so.
Yeah, I agree. And that's a fact. I be forgetting, like, it's all the sports that's going to be competing in the SEC, not just football. So,
Yeah.
Baylor's not coming though.
I mean, Texas.
But Baylor could-
Texas
I mean, OU and other sports are really
I was about
good.
to say Texas and Oklahoma
Texas
should be
is
all
good
right
in
in
track,
baseball
too.
and
Yeah.
basketball.
OU in gymnastics, if I'm not mistaken, they won the national championship. I could be wrong. Let me check on
I
that.
think they did.
But they all like OU gymnastics is always
Yes.
like
It's always
that
good.
that's
top
gonna
dog.
Be, that's going to be good. Like,
Women's
gymnastics
basketball
meets
used
are
to
going to be good.
Basketball probably. I think basketball and baseball would probably be like
Men's
the
basketball games are going to be good.
Softball,
Baseball
too.
games are going to... Oh, softball.
Softball.
games.
Yeah.
Oklahoma did win the national championship for
Didn't their softball team
gymnastics.
win?
yeah.
I think their softball team won
Softball
this
won
year.
too. They're going to be great in
Yeah,
other
they're gonna
sports,
be
but
good.
I think when it comes to football, it's going to hit them like a ton of freaking bricks.
Yeah,
I think
facts.
Texas might be all right.
Yeah, Texas will be all right just because of the way they're recruiting right
They're
now.
recruiting.
Yeah.
And
now.
Oklahoma is recruiting at a high level too, so you can't count them out. Honestly.
Right.
Like,
I mean, they're also under a new coach too, so I think they're under some growing pains this season, but they might work through that by the time they get to the SEC.
Talking
What,
about two blue
2
bloods.
years from now? 2024 is whenever they change.
2023.
2023? One more year. Another fun thing that I wanted to talk about. I saw this TikTok pop up on my For You page, and I thought it was hilarious. You know that trend where, you come in and you, like, have, like, a fake mic. And you
The
start-
top-off trend.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
it
yeah.
started off as the top-off trend.
Well, Nuss and Malik and the rest of the team participated in that in the locker room.
The Vet Motors trim.
Nuss
Yeah.
is QB1. I don't care.
Huh?
He's QB1.
Nuss is QB1,
Nuss
but, like,
is
that
QB1,
solidified-
period,
They
bruh.
want to admit it. Like, I don't know why they don't want to admit it.
He's that guy.
I think
he
Nuss,
really is
we
that
know-
guy.
We done talked about it.
We know
enough,
why, but
Nuss, I
We
feel
know
like
why, but-
Nuss has everything. He's the complete package at this point, whether it's personality, leadership, performance on
Can we
the
pull up
field,
the video?
relationships with his teammates.
Let's watch it.
Nuss is the guy. Look at him. He's swagged up.
So it was pretty cool, and everybody was kind of like, they were like, he can't. Why the music still going? Okay, sorry. They were like, BK is gonna change the culture. He doesn't understand the culture down here or whatever. Nuss is, I mean, he's from Texas, but he's Louisiana.
He's from
like,
Lake Charles.
Yeah, he's from Lake Charles. He was born in Lake Charles. He just moved to Texas because his dad's coach. But somebody had commented. You got the pictures too? Somebody had commented something about Alabama, and Nuss kind of like clap back a little bit. They said, doing all that dancing, better watch out for the tide. And he just said, chopper for chopper, go dollar for dollar. He ain't scared of nobody.
Yeah. And that's
everybody's just hyping him up. When you got
that.
when you have a good attitude and you got a really fun personality, that just makes the fan base love you more. Not only like just how you play and how you command your offense and command the team, but just showing like the great relationship that he does have with his teammates. And that chemistry is obviously going to play forth on the field whenever they get to that, because he is so close with these guys. They're all close in age, they're all, tight, and some of them been friends for years, and it shows. And how they hang out in the locker room, they're just chilling. Like, I think that was after media day.
Yeah,
and they were just hanging out. So I think they have really great chemistry. And in my opinion, out of the 4 quarterbacks going up for this, I think Nuss is just a no-brainer.
Yeah, but you need that swagger. You need that from your quarterback. And, like, people look at Joe Burrow, but, like, Joe is a dog. And that's what people, like, yeah, he looked nice. He was chill, but, like, he had the ability to have that swagger when it was needed. Like, he had the ability to show that dog in him at the right times. I mean, shoot, the UFC game, he got down, we all know the play, whatnot. He got right back up. And then he comes back.
He can take a hit. He ain't lose after
Yeah, you come back in every game. I mean, even at the national championship, he just pointed like, ring him now. Like, you want a guy who has that swagger and that composure. And yeah, that's exactly the word I was about to use next. That confidence that shows like, yeah, like we're that team. And when the quarterback, to me, and it's common sense in football, that's your heartbeat of your team most of the time. And if your heartbeat of the team is walking out the locker room with that swag, like, yeah, like me and my dogs,
like, that's who you rally behind.
That's who you want. That's who your players, that's who the coaches, that's who people respond to the best. The person who doesn't care about the cameras, the media attention, all of that. He cares about getting the job done. And it's so much bigger than just calling plays, running a huddle, and throwing a football. It's everything from what you do off the field, what you do on the field, how you recruit as a host when recruits come in. All those things play a factor, and I believe that Garrett Nussmeier brings all those things to the table.
Yeah, I guess, we'll see. It'll be a while before we find out. But I just thought that TikTok was fun. I mean, seeing, like, a different side, and kind of, like, shows that these are still kids at the end of the day. Like, they're all our age. Like, we just like to have fun, turn up, do TikToks. It just kind of gives them, like, humility that I think a lot of fans don't see and haven't seen in, like, previous years before social media was really a thing. Like, a lot of people, and I think a lot of people also in the media, just treat them like they're just beings that do something for other people.
And they can't do nothing wrong.
Exactly. And they don't treat them like they're human. Like, I saw people going off on Joe Burrow for giving his opinion on, gun rights in America, because a media person asked him that question. They were going off, oh, stick to football. You don't know nothing about this, da-da-da-da-da. He's still a human being. And nobody's oblivious to the rest of the stuff going on in the world. Like, yeah, football is his life, but it's not the only thing that surrounds everything.
Yeah.
Like, they're still human beings at the end of the day. And seeing them just having fun, or seeing them talk about a topic that's not related to sports. Or, Jack Merrifield, he plays baseball. His favorite hobby outside of baseball, he likes to bake. Like, seeing them be human beings other than just athletes, to me, is something that I find the most interesting about covering sports, is to see the person behind the uniform, because that's not their entire personality.
Yeah, and that's important to acknowledge, because we want athletes. I feel like people who say, oh, stick to sports, it's so when it's a topic y'all don't want to hear them talking about, because y'all don't tell them to stick to sports when y'all want them to give money. Y'all don't tell them to stick to sports for a community service event. Y'all don't tell them to stick to sports for any of these other things. But the moment they go out and live their life, or John Morant, he's a perfect example. He lost to the Warriors after playing his heart out, playing through injury, X, Y, and Z. He's out at his crib, chilling, living life. It's the summertime, the off season, and here comes everybody. Oh, you need to be playing basketball, and you're worried about drinking. But he's human. He's 20. He's probably 22, 20. He's around our age.
Young.
Like, people fail to realize that a lot of the people who are getting drafted in these professional athletes, Jamar 22.
There you go.
Some of the guys in the NBA,
Zion got drafted at 19.
Exactly.
19.
These are still kids, and they shouldn't be, or not kids, but like young adults. They shouldn't be confined to all they have to do is go to a practice facility, work out, train, go home. That's not life.
They're not
and
the
nobody
sport-
else lives that type of life. So why do we hold athletes to the point where they have to, if LeBron goes to the club, that's the next trending topic for the next 2 days on
Right.
Twitter. Why is that? These people have lives. They have friends. They are attached to entertainment and different endorsements and things like that. Nobody's bound to just wearing a football jersey or a basketball jersey. Like, they're bigger than athletes. And I love that the SEC, when all the Black Lives Matters thing was going on, as they started hearing from their athletes and representatives that they use the slogan, more than an athlete. I'm more than an athlete. I have something bigger than my name than I play football or I play basketball or I do track. Like, I'm a human. I'm black. I'm a male. I'm a female. Female athletes should be able to, Sonya Richards-Ross should be able to talk about her abortion and the things that she went through without people judging her, because y'all weren't judging her when she was running for the USA. Y'all weren't judging her when she got the gold medal, but
Before
now,
y'all found out?
but now that y'all found out that before she got that gold medal, she had abortion. Oh,
Why you got a problem with
condemn
what she
condemn
chooses
her.
to do? Like, how, like, it's like decisions that athletes make outside of their game,
Their
what they
personal
choose to
lives.
do with their life. People have so much to say about it. Whenever, if it's just some regular person who has no type of fame or clout or whatever, why should you care about what they do? Exactly, you shouldn't care.
Yeah.
So why are you caring about what this athlete's doing?
And it's
If
not
it
even
has
that.
no effect on their career,
Yeah.
it should have nothing to do with you. You shouldn't be tripping over it, because at the end of the day, they're still human. And a lot of these guys, or even females, that are just now getting into this professional world and professional athletes, or getting drafted or whatever, they're still so young.
Mm-hmm.
You know, some people have lived with their parents their whole life and been very blessed and don't know what it's like to be on their own. So they get on their own, and sometimes they make really dumb decisions. And that's just a part of growing up. I
life.
think all of us in this room, being college students, can attest to the fact that at some point or another, we made some really dumbass decisions being on our own for the first time. And I mean, you give a 19-year-old kid millions and millions of dollars, I would flip the hell out.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you give me that much money, I ain't gonna know what to do with myself.
Yeah.
So they're bound to make mistakes. They're not perfect, but at the end of the day, to just recognize that they're still human and they deserve the same amount of respect as someone who doesn't have the amount of fame that they do.
And that's why I was appreciative of everything that went on during the Black Lives Matter. I don't want to say that. During the George Floyd situation that had brought all the topics and the conversations up. And one of the most pivotal things I think that came from that was that athletes, not just college athletes, professional athletes, you look at what happened to Colin Kaepernick in 2016, 2017, that was so the wrong thing to do. And then come 2020, George Floyd, his murder happens, we watch it, the whole world watched his murder happen on camera. And now it sparked this conversation that everybody was, or not everybody, but a lot of people were infuriated with how he was being treated. And it had showed athletes, it had showed professional athletes, it had showed owners of NFL, NBA teams that we have a voice. And that was one of the most best things that could have happened. Athletes have felt for so long that they could not step out and express their thoughts on a social issue, whether that's Black Lives Matter, whether that's abortion rights, whether that's gay rights, whatever you want to call it. They realize that now I always had this platform and this voice, but it's really like I really can use it and I can't be penalized for it because I am more than just an athlete. I'm more than just representing my university or the SEC. And it's not just athletes. Kylie Jenner and Travis Scott posted their picture that went viral this weekend of them at the airport or whatever, and they had both their private jets. Hey, to me, that's relationship goals. Like, call it what you want to call it, but hey, which one we getting on? Mine's or yours? That was dope to me. But to read the comments and people, oh, climate change and this and that, them people don't, they don't owe not living their lives or whatnot because climate change is an issue. Climate change is an issue because Kylie Jenner has money or Travis Scott has money. That's just an issue that we have. And so they shouldn't be able to not live their lives or not treat themselves to buying that private jet. They got the money to do it. Why not? And so people shouldn't judge these, and I'll say celebrities, influencers, so harshly because they're still humans at the end of the day. So, yeah.
Agreed. All right, switching gears a bit. The Saints are on vacation right now. A lot of them are in Florida and Miami. They're still putting some work in, but training camp is in a few weeks.
July 26th.
Ron already knows. I was going to go to Ron. TJ, you can walk in front of the camera. Yeah, sorry. Training camp starts in a few weeks. And, you know, I want to go to Ron because I know Ron is very big on this. You're going to training camp to go cover it for JC show. So what are your expectations? What do you want to see? I know the rookies report on Tuesday and then the vets come a week later. What do you want to see from the Saints coming up?
I really want to see Tyrann Mathieu. Like, for 5 years, I've been hearing, you know, he's going to come to the Saints. Maybe he's going to do this. But he's finally here, and he was really a needed piece with the Saints losing Marcus Williams in free agency. And I'd also like to see Jarvis, too. The Saints wide receiving room, it was pretty bad last year. They were probably one of the reasons why the Saints missed the playoffs. Well, coupled with the fact that they didn't have a quarterback. But that's another thing I'm looking forward to seeing, too, from Jameis. And how he's going to be back with, you know, he got the brace throwing now. And I also want to see more of Kamara because who knows when we're going to see him when the season starts, when their suspension come.
Was it announced how long his suspension is? I heard it was 6 games.
Yeah, they didn't officially announce it, but, like, that's what everybody's saying it's probably going to be.
Yeah.
So Deshaun Watson, what's the
that's
him and Deshaun get
the
same penalty, or is it different, or what is it? Yeah, I mean, I'm confused.
And see,
because
and that's the thing. Like the NFL,
like, if we're gonna suspend Kamara for what happened at the Pro Bowl, then something got to happen with Deshaun, right?
And like that's what I'm saying. Like the NFL, they got a horrible justice system. Like
they pick and choose.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like certain players, like they might have like abuse scandals, but then other players, like they might just get caught like taking PEDs or something. They'll get the same suspension for that, and that's not the same crimes.
No, it's not at all.
Yeah.
So, guess we'll see.
What do you think about like the running back situation with the loss of Kamara, Mark Ingram, had a few guys, but is the running back group gonna be as strong as it was like last year?
I really wanted us to draft another running back, and it's not that I don't believe in Mark Ingram. It's just that right now this is like his 11th season, and running back, that's the one position in the NFL that like it wears down.
Right.
We've seen that with Todd Gurley, Offensive Player of the Year. 2-3 years later, he's out the league now. And
Johnson.
Yeah, David
CTE.
Johnson. Yeah.
Bound to get some CTE if you were running back.
Christian McCaffrey.
A lot of bad knees too.
Years.
A lot of bad knees too. It's just, man, like. But we also got Tony Jones Jr. I think he has a lot of potential. He was on Saints preseason roster last year, I think.
He came from practice squad, right?
Yeah. And I think he could help pick up the slack, but Jameis might have to do a little bit more throwing.
You think it's going to be a very like pass-heavy offense this year compared to last year?
Especially with a lot of question marks still on the offensive line. They had a lot of struggles last year too. They had a lot of struggles last year too, and with Jameis coming back, they're gonna have to be even more on their game, as you know he's coming off a major ACL injury.
Yeah. All right, we'll take a break right quick. We'll have a guest on right after the break. We won't be gone long, and we'll talk a little pop culture after the break. So stay tuned, guys.
We're all from different places and backgrounds. We've each experienced our own versions of life, but in the end, we're all on the same team. I'm part of that team, along with these players in purple and gold.
Kayshon Boutte,
Malik Neighbors,
Miles Frazier,
Kyron Lacey.
Greg Brooks.
Whether on the field or in the courtroom, your team matters.
so join our team. Make a difference.
Bet. Let's get it done.
Man, so kind of when I entered the transfer portal, I knew, what type of facility, what type of, program I wanted to go to. Being that before I committed to Ohio State, my first unofficial was to LSU.
Oh, wow.
And but that was when Coach O and Court Raymond was here or whatever. But definitely the coaches, the scheme Kelly, trying to bring in, trying to implement, his way of going, like detailed person. That's where I wanted to be. I knew I wanted to be.
Did you have any experience with Coach Kelly?
No, I had no experience. No.
Really? Who was your main recruiter from LSU?
Sherman Wilson. Yeah, he was, stay consistent, honest, just gave it to me straight.
Yeah.
And this is where I wanted to be.
How do you feel about that number at this university playing that position?
Yeah, man, I definitely want it. I definitely want to come in and improve, to my teammates, not just the coaches, but to my teammates that I got to go play with, that, I deserve it. And once I do that, then, everything is, up from there.
We're all from different places and backgrounds. We've each experienced our own versions of life, but
Hey Baton Rouge, when traveling through Natchez, Mississippi, whether you need to fill up your vehicle or your belly, stop by Go-Mart and On The Go Deli. Go-Mart has clean restrooms, community coffee, an awesome beer cave, and a great selection of anything you might need on your trip. So stop by Go-Mart at 4 Sergeant Prentice Drive as you're entering Natchez on the left, and visit Tom and Wright Granning and their awesome team at Go-Mart.
We've seen the BK takeover stuff from LSU and social media, and really in his short time in Baton Rouge, there's been a lot of people embracing his approach to building this roster. What's it like to recruit alongside him?
Oh, it's been great. Coach has been awesome to me because he lets me be myself when it comes to recruiting, when it comes to coaching. He lets his coaches coach. He lets his coaches recruit. So I have no complaints on that end. And when I need him to get in touch with a kid, he's there for me. The communication line has been great. He's just been nothing but supportive.
But this opportunity was different. You have a chance to come to a place with unbelievable tradition, work for the winningest head coach in college football. Just be at a state. I've never been at a state where football's king, and if you just dominate your state, you're going to get some of the best players that there are.
Sure.
Welcome back to Clout Demonz. We are joined by a guest, Shane Jackson. He is a Baton Rouge native, LSU student, fashion model, influencer. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good today. How y'all
Hold
doing?
that mic a little closer to you.
I'm doing good today. How y'all doing?
We're good. Nice to have you on the show. So tell me a little bit about how you got to where you are and like being able to model for some big companies and being able to do what you're able to do.
So basically, it really started off with my cousin. Shout out to my cousin Rashawn. He basically got me started. Like we used to just like find different spots to like go take pictures. Well, he was doing it first, and he the one got me involved with it. Started doing it and stuff. So like he kind of like fell back and kind of like pushed me more towards it because I guess he seen more potential, I guess, or something like that or whatever. So yeah, like we just basically go find like different areas and spots and just put on a fit and go take pictures. And so like one day I put on this fit and it just like blew up, I guess, and like everybody just like was like messing with it, I guess, like that. And so ever since then, like I started doing it more, being consistent with it and stuff like that. And like brands started hitting me up, big time brand companies, and I just ran with it. Ain't look back, basically.
What's some of the brands that you've gotten to work with?
I model for Fashion Nova, Culture Kings, Starter Official. Oh, those.
Shop Gold.
Shop Gold. Shop Gold.
Look at that ice on his neck.
What else? Guapi, something like that. And I'm trying to get on with Boohoo. They just reached out to me like last month. I ain't never fill out the stuff, but I'm gonna go ahead and do that so I can get on with them.
What are you majoring in at LSU?
My major is construction management. I want to like build houses, architect, landscape, do all that. I just want to make money.
So do you want to like do that full time and, you know, kind of model, or do you think like the modeling and influencing thing is more the route you want to go with the rest of your life?
I kind of do want to focus more on the modeling, but basically really I just want to see like where I can get before I graduate. All depends really. I can really do both. Like it really like whatever I put my mind to, I'm just gonna do it. Like nothing gonna really hold me back. Like, I'm just gonna really just go for it, whatever, basically.
So what was it? Did you ever see yourself, you know, growing up in Baton Rouge, going to Scotlandville High? Like, did you ever see yourself, you know, being where you are now and, you know, having the following that you do and being able to go to cool places and stuff like that?
To be honest, no, not really. Like I ain't never like see like this stuff going like where I'm at now. Like I just was just a regular person at first. But people know me, but they ain't like know me now, how they know me now, like that. But yeah, I ain't really like see myself in this situation where I'm at right now.
So,
I would just, like, yeah, basically.
So what would you say is like the biggest thing you take away from being able to have an influence and a brand and people know that you do what you do? What's your biggest takeaway from it? What do you get that's rewarding from it?
Like you talking about like
in terms of just like what makes you continue to do it?
Oh, the people hype me up, of course. Yeah, like they see me doing good, so I'm gonna just keep doing it. Basically, yeah. Like
what's the like kind of like message that you'd want to send to like other people who kind of like grew up in a small town and, you know, didn't really see their future going, you know, a big route and yours has? What's like the message or the influence that you want to send to somebody like that?
Basically just you just gotta like you gotta just be consistent. Like if you want to do it, like just do it. Like don't like try to do it and stop and be like, oh, like nah, let me try something else. No, like just do it. Like
be confident.
Yeah, be confident in yourself. Basically, yeah, that's what I am. Confident. Like I'm very confident in myself. If I like do it, I'm gonna do it. Like if I tell myself yes, I'm gonna do that. Like
so what it went like. So when you putting your outfits together or whatever you do, you just sit in your closet and you like, yeah, this is what I'm going for? Do you have like a aesthetic you looking to do, or you just be like, oh, this go, let me see what I do with this?
Basically, like the stuff they send me, I can like choose out my outfits. So I basically already know how it's gonna look. I just put it on and then go with it. Like I don't even like. I just hopefully it look good and it do. And so I just.
And you got like a professional photographer, or you just take them on your phone? How you take your pictures?
I do both. Like I get some professional pictures and I do it on my phone basically, so I can do a mixture and see how it work out and stuff like that.
And so you took a recent trip to Spain. Have you been anywhere else? Has fashion allowed you to go anywhere else? How was your trip to Spain? You know, what's fashion like out there? Or, you know, like tell us about where fashion has been able to take you and what you've been able to see from it.
So like on the trip to Spain, I ain't gonna lie, that's a place I live. For real, like for real. Like it's very beautiful. It's a nice place. It's like different, like the vibe is different for sure. Like the people, the women.
Hey, that's always a bonus though.
It really the people though. Like everybody's nice. Everybody mind their own business. No criminal stuff like that. Nobody's doing nothing bad or anything like that. It's just very chill, low key. Everybody just on their own thing basically.
So what would you say if somebody was to say, Shane, in 5 to 10 years, where do you see yourself? where do you see yourself? Do you see yourself as a top-notch model? Do you want to go to fashion shows? Do you want to go to New York? What you want to do?
My main goal is to be a runway model. That's what I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I want to travel with the runway model and stuff like that. I want people to like dress me. I'll wear their brands, and I can walk in, like that.
Have you ever considered being a stylist for somebody?
People want me to be a stylist, but that's not what I want to do. Cause I don't want nobody dressing like me.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion. I'm not trying to be like mean nothing about it. That's just
I mean, you different.
Yeah, like I don't want nobody to be trying to dress like me high. Like
have you always been into fashion? Like, have you always, wanted to like have like really cool outfits and stuff ever since you were younger?
Nah, I was never into fashion. This stuff happened like over a year ago. Like I was never like I really wanted to be a hooper. Like I was a hooper. I had that NBA dream. That's what I had because I hooped in high school. So I was like, yeah, I'm trying to like go with the hooping stuff. But like after high school, I was like,
Did you have any offers? Were you trying to go to the next level?
Nah, I got lazy with that. It was over for that. So I was like, I'm finna just try something else. So I went into college, construction. I went into the construction major because that's what my uncle does. I had worked with him over the summer and stuff. I seen he was making a lot of money doing it. So I'm like, why not go into it, stuff like that. And then like I seen like these other people doing like this fashion on stuff. So I'm like, let me give it a try, stuff like that. And it actually worked out for me. So
tell us this, Shane. Who's your favorite music artist?
Oh, Polo G for sure.
Why Polo G?
I don't know. I don't know. I just like his lyrics. Like they hard. Like they speak like like he really spitting it. Like that's my favorite artist.
As somebody that's from Baton Rouge, I'm sure you've heard of somebody called NBA Youngboy.
Oh yeah,
I'm sure everybody here knows who that is. Well, he had just beat a federal case against some gun charges, and that was huge. What y'all think about that? I know Ron's over the moon excited right now.
The whole BR is excited for that.
Ron is the president of the Youngboy fan club.
Yeah, this never broke again. They need to put him on. They need to put him on a sponsorship.
I'm not NBA.
I texted him. I was like, I know you hype right now. He just beat that case. He was like, we got to go to the hearing that's in BR in a few weeks.
Look, hey, what you trying to do, Ron?
I'm trying to tell you,
let's go.
Right outside the.
Hey, we standing outside like the fans.
Oh God, that's why I thought it'd be
let's
like,
go. Let's go.
Running up on him.
Did y'all see his lawyer?
Yeah.
Stand outside. Yeah. He was like, Kentrell Golden, a.k.a. Lil Top, a.k.a. YB. Hold up. Not guilty.
Everybody's going crazy now, man.
Shane, tell us this. What you think your prediction for LSU football this year? We got a new coach, new staff.
I heard we got a lot of 5-stars, huh?
Yeah, we got some recruits came in. What's your expectation as a student? What you look most forward to? What you think we're gonna do?
I'm trying to see some wins on the board for sure. We trying to get another national championship. Yeah.
Are you a big sports guy?
Oh yeah, for sure that. Yeah. I
you
watch
be sports betting?
Sports all day. Nah, I ain't do the betting and stuff like that, but I watch sports and stuff. Basketball, football. That's probably it. I ain't watch no hockey or whatever that stuff is.
Hockey's fun. Don't sleep on hockey.
Yeah. I ain't gonna sleep on it, but I'm not finna just sit there and watch it. No, I just can't do that.
I think you should go to a game though, for sure.
It might be better in person though. It might be.
Yeah, going to a hockey game is interesting.
Baton Rouge might be getting like a rec team, hockey thing going on. Like pretty soon they used to have one. My mom grew up in BR and she said that they used to have one back in the day, but she said they might be getting that back. So hockey might be a new thing in BR. I don't know. I've never watched hockey, but I have one of my friends from New York and she's like huge on hockey. So that may be pretty cool. Who's your favorite sports that you like the best? Like, what's your favorite teams professionally?
Stephen Curry, the Warriors.
What about football?
Football, I'm a Saints fan. That's the home team. You got to go over them.
Yeah. Okay, 2 questions for you, Shane, and these probably our last 2 for you. Tell us this: what is your favorite LSU memory as a student? Since you've been here, what would be the littest thing you've experienced, and what would be your advice to somebody who will be coming to LSU? Yeah, we done had some lit nights, so think about that one.
It could be from like freshman year.
Yeah, it could be any year that you've been in college. What's the littest thing you've experienced in college?
Maybe the tailgates, probably.
Okay,
Probably
so
tailgates.
so the game day experience.
Yeah, game days. Yeah, that's be the most lit days.
Tell our viewers about game day experience. Give them some advice for the SU LSU game.
You just know when Saturday morning come, we lit from sun up to sundown. Yeah. Every week outside the whole day. Just be prepared.
Drink your water.
Drink your water. Just stay hydrated because it be hot too.
What's some advice that you have for like somebody that's coming into college or doesn't really know how to find their way just yet?
Basically just stay focused your first year, because I feel like that's what I did. I stayed focused my first year, and then the rest of the years it got easy. Once you go into your major, stuff like that, it won't be as hard for you and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's
so yeah, just don't get distracted really, because you're gonna get it's easy
LSU is an easy place to get distracted.
Yes, it's a very easy place to get distracted for real. So yeah, basically just stay focused.
What's the biggest distraction?
Partying.
Parties.
The girls.
Girls for sure. The girls. Yeah, girls.
And more girls.
Yeah.
I see you have Baton Rouge tatted on your arm. What does the city of Baton Rouge and growing up here mean to you?
I mean, it's my hometown. Like, I'm gonna claim it. I'm just gonna claim it. That's what it is. Like,
what's your favorite thing about being from Baton Rouge? You gotta say it. It started with a J, end with an N.
You talking about the dancing? The dancing for sure. The dancing and the food, really.
There's a lot of debate if who's the jigging capital.
City. Come on,
New Orleans
don't
or
get them to jig now.
What's your argument?
Like, did you just say New Orleans?
It's easily
no,
BR.
I thought it was
BR Jigga City.
Yeah,
BR is
Jigga City.
New Orleans is bounce.
Bounce,
yeah.
That's bounce. That's not jigging.
I've had plenty of people tell me like jigging started in New Orleans, and I knew it started in BR.
Yeah, we really invented this.
Shane if y'all don't know, he got a viral video out from when he graduated high school. And man, he cut up.
Wait, was that was you from the Scholarville graduation?
That was girls that Shane.
He jigged across the stage?
He jigged and he turned the whole graduation up.
We gotta find that.
Yeah, we gotta find it for the next show. Next time we have Shane come on. We appreciate him coming on, telling us a little bit about his journey and how he got into modeling and fashion. What's his favorite memories at LSU and things like that. Hey, be sure to tap in with my boy at Girl That Shane on Instagram. Hey, he got all the followers. He may hit y'all with a follow back. I don't know about all that, but ladies, hit him up.
I ain't like that. I follow back.
Follow him. We appreciate him. Good luck to you in the rest of your college career and what you do in your endeavors. Your work is being shown. Your influence is being felt by many. So keep grinding, bro. And we appreciate you coming on.
There's a lot of great people at LSU that are a lot like Shane, building their own brand and building their own career and becoming somebody like an influencer or something that's really having an impact on the community and then on all of us. So we hope to have more people like Shane that have started their own thing. And it was great having you. We'll take a break and we'll be back talking some NBA Summer League right after this. Welcome back to Clout Demons. We're here to close out the show. We're going to get into some more sports. NBA Summer League just wrapped up today. The Portland Trailblazers won the championship. And Trendon Watford, former LSU Tiger, he had a big time in the Summer League. He was the NBA Summer League MVP. Dropped 19, 7 rebounds, 3 steals, and they won the championship. He got MVP. Big day for Trendon Watford. What did y'all think?
Yeah, I mean, Trendon, he was able to see some playing time good last year, and he did a good job in the Summer League, and then this year he's been working really hard. This wasn't his only game today that he had that was really good. I know a couple games ago he dropped like 17 points with some other good team stats. Hey, so it's good to see that Trendon had went live with Dame Lillard afterwards. Dame, he was hyped. He was excited to see that them young guys were able to get that Summer League MVP, and that says a lot. The Summer League has gotten a lot of hype over the last couple of years, and this year was really it was our first like real season since COVID had happened that things were really back up and moving, and so it was good to see them playing that level of basketball, and that just goes to show that not just for teams like Portland, but the future is bright, and it does start in the Summer League. So Trendon, congrats to you, congrats to your team, keep it up. We're proud of you over here at the Culotta show and Clout Demons, and we hope that the Summer League championship could soon turn into an NBA championship, as that's well deserved for the organization, for Dame, and for you as well. So shout out to Trendon. There were some other LSU guys who's been in some moves throughout the Summer League. We had saw that Sharif O'Neal, he had got some good minutes with the Lakers. Now he's just waiting to see what he's going to do, what he's going to get offered contract-wise. He had did some good things. He had some things that people that were controversial on Twitter and the internet, people were talking about. But I feel like once Sharif really like settles in and gets acclimated to playing NBA basketball, because although he didn't play a lot of collegiate, it's totally
they was getting on his ass.
It's
on Twitter.
It's a different level of basketball in the NBA. So if I was Sharif, I wouldn't be really listening to all of that, because he's still young. He has a lot of time. He's getting acclimated still. So I wouldn't be too stressed about Tari Eason.
He had a great Summer League.
Tari Eason probably has solidified. If I'm the Rockets organization, Tari is definitely going to be a guy that's going to be on my 15-man roster. But Tari brings so much to any team. And I said this when we were talking basketball throughout the season, that I always felt like he was one of the more underrated players. Even though he did win SEC Sixth Man of the Year, I always thought personally Tari should have started. He just provided that spark for the team offensively. He plays lockdown defense. He brings energy to the court, and I think we were really able to see that through the Summer League with the Rockets. He was making big plays. The NBA was always posting dunks or something that was getting everybody involved. So it's going to be very, very exciting to see Tari Eason. Like we mentioned, Cam Thomas, he had a good NBA season. He had a great NBA Summer League run. The LSU guys are really showing out in the NBA. We got Javonte. Know something happened with him this week, Ron. If you have some insight on that, you could provide us with that. Javonte had a move. Darius Days, he went from the Spurs to the Heat. I think Javonte moved from.
He was with the Heat, right?
Yeah, said they waived him.
Yeah, the Heat waived him, and they picked up Darius Days. So
that's crazy.
One thing
that's weird.
That's crazy. But one thing
you gonna waive me and get my teammate?
That's crazy.
The Heat seems to like them Louisiana kids, but I say this LSU basketball is on the come up for sure. And so seeing guys like Cam, seeing guys like Tari.
Cam also had a really good Summer League. He was the MVP last year. And he further proved that, New York was right in picking him.
And it's good for Tari for Cam, that he was able to be under the leadership and just see guys like Kyrie, see guys like KD, Ben Simmons, he's over there with the Nets. It's good that he was able to see that, because that leadership and that mentorship and getting that experience, whether you're playing or you're not, you're still traveling with the team, you're still going to practice, all those guys. Like, if I'm 19, 20 years old playing under KD, I'm not too mad at that, because there's something I can learn from it. So I think we'll continue to see the game of Cam Thomas grow for sure throughout his career. Talk some Drew League.
Yeah, go ahead, go for it.
While we're talking about basketball, yesterday LeBron James and
LeBron James
and DeMar DeRozan had played in the Drew League, and it was amazing to see some of those highlights from that and how packed it was in there. LeBron dropped 42 points. Kyrie didn't show up, but we know. I know that Kyrie was at Mamba Sports Academy. He was doing some work, so he didn't show up to the Drew League, but he was still putting in that work yesterday. LeBron is in year 20.
It's crazy.
Year 20, and he's dropping 42, and it's not just him. Like, y'all mad at LeBron. If you didn't see it, I searched Bronny's video from today. Bronny threw it down on somebody's head on the game, and then we know Bryce is going to be a dog. Bryce may be better than Bronny and Bron at the same time when it's all said and done.
I don't know about all that.
Bryce is already LeBron, dang near LeBron height.
I remember like 2 years ago seeing like a family TikTok of them like during COVID,
COVID,
whatever, and he was like this big, and then I see a picture of him the other day, and he's as tall as LeBron.
Yeah. So look, NBA fans, just be ready for another 25, 30 years of hearing that James name, because they coming in. What LeBron is doing is phenomenal to watch. And I think, we get so caught up in the Jordan, the Kobe, the LeBron, who's the GOAT talk, but I just tell people appreciate LeBron while we have him, because the NBA when LeBron leaves is going to be totally different. We're going to miss having a player like LeBron, watching somebody dominate, regardless of conference, regardless of league, whatever. Watching LeBron play to the standard of basketball that he's played for 20 years has been phenomenal watching. We coming down the end, and I'm going to be hurt during LeBron for a World Tour, but shout out to Bron and those guys. What else we got today?
It won't be long before, Bronny will get his chance to be in the league. All goes well, he'll be able to get that, and then not long after him, Bryce will come in. So I think it's really cool to see these NBA legends have their sons come up into the league. Scottie Pippen Jr. Yeah, he just got drafted, and he was doing great. I think that's really cool to see, like kind of like the next generation of NBA, like all-stars coming in and emulating their dad, or even playing differently than their dad, because they have different skill sets than their dad did whenever they played in the league. Devin Laster said LeBron is cool, but ever since Kobe passed, it just feels different. I don't know why. It definitely does.
I can agree with that, but I feel like it's different in a more so positive way, and I'll say not just with LeBron. I feel like Kobe's death sparked something within everybody that shows that, like, we literally have to cherish people while we have them here. And nobody in the world foresaw Kobe's life ending the way it did. And
I feel like Kobe was like one of those celebrities that always was so real. He never was like fraudulent or doing stuff for the media or whatever. He was very real. And I think that's why it kind of hit the fan base so hard when he did pass away. It's because, like, why are you crying and upset over somebody you never met that passed away? Well, it's because it felt like you knew him, because he was so raw and so authentic. Not even just, playing basketball, but just, with his life, with his 4 daughters. He was so raw and authentic, and he wasn't scared to tell nobody how proud he was to be a dad of those 4 girls, and how proud he was to be married to Vanessa. And the man he was outside of basketball is what made people love Kobe so much. And every story that you hear about Kobe since he's passed has been like, that man was a freak of nature. That man was a genius. You hear like the stories about what goes on you know, in the conversations, like the, you know, the smack talking on the court or the talk in the locker room, the stuff Kobe says, his mentality and stuff, it's like you never heard of something like that before. So I think that's why people felt so connected to him and why people felt so upset whenever he did pass away. And plus he passed away
so tragically
and so unexpected. It wasn't like, you know, I mean, no matter how he died, it would have been tragic, it would have been heartbreaking, but it was just like it came out of nowhere.
Yeah, it was like
I didn't believe
it was like
it at
not
first.
Kobe, man.
And it was
like,
just crazy.
Like that didn't happen.
It was crazy because the night before, LeBron had passed his record.
Yeah.
And Kobe had posted.
Kobe was there.
That was his last tweet.
Yeah, like Kobe had literally posted about it. And then LeBron and the team are traveling, and LeBron and everybody starts getting
you see it on his phone and
that news. And I remember, like,
they canceled the game.
I remember the timestamp, 11:27. I woke up that morning, and 3 minutes later, I just get on Twitter, and everybody's like, "This can't be true. This can't be true." And I thought it was a hoax at first. I was like, "Oh, this can't be true." And like, not even 10 minutes later, like the whole timeline was just Kobe, Kobe, Kobe. I was just in utter shock. But I look at the All-Star game this past year where they did the little 75 NBA 75 presentation for the top
75th
players.
anniversary.
And I remember reading a tweet where it was like Michael Jordan had taken a picture with some of the guys. We weren't seeing MJ and guys doing those kind of things pre-Kobe's death. I feel like after Kobe's death, that was really the moment that's like, dog, we gotta appreciate Jordan while he's here.
And the last dance really
we gotta
showed it.
appreciate Magic Johnson while he's here. We gotta give all these people their flowers and tell them what they mean and take those pictures and do all those things while we're alive. And that's not just for celebrities or NBA players. That's just like a message in general. I went to my family reunion a couple weeks ago, and I saw a post that said, we say everything at funerals that we should tell everybody at their birthdays and while they're alive. And whether that's their birthdays, whether that's at a family reunion, whether that's at anything, as humans, we have to do a better job of telling people what they mean to us, how much they love us, taking pictures, taking memories, because when they're gone, you're not getting that. You can't, they don't get to hear you tell them that you love them. They don't get to hear them tell you, like she said, Kobe always told people he was proud of him. Guys like Jason Tatum, guys like Kyrie, they live by the words and the things that Kobe had poured into them. So it's important, and that could be our takeaway for the night for everybody, for our viewers too, to make sure that we're telling our family, our friends, our loved ones, our classmates, what they mean to us while they're here, so we don't have to live with that regret or, dang, I wish I would have told Pop I loved him. I wish I would have told my homeboy that you my number one dog. Like, we wait till we have to post it on social media or till we have to say it at a funeral and give a speech. Say it now. Tell them you love them now. And so that kind of brings me to something I did want to talk about, was Allison Felix last lap around the track. She had a legendary career. She set the standard for not just women in track, but women athletes in general. People fail to realize Allison Felix ended her deal with Nike when they wasn't honoring her maternity leave or whatnot. And that has shifted something for a lot of these corporations that do endorsements now, because it made Nike not only realize that we have to change this policy, but she put that on the map. Like, women and women athletes are not getting the proper maternity leave and things that they need to be successful athletes.
Nike needed Allison Felix more than Allison Felix needed Nike. And she said, I'm going to show y'all.
And she made him stand on that. And so, shout out to her and the legendary career that she had and the medals she won, but just how she really carried herself throughout the course of her career. The legacy she leaves on the track, the inspiration that she has provided women athletes, women track athletes for, 16, 17 years.
One thing that really is inspiring about women who choose to be professional athletes and choose to have children is that they can come back and still compete at the highest level possible. I think that just is it's a superpower.
Yeah.
carrying a child and giving birth to a child
That's
and
like an injury.
that is like, you know, it takes a while to recover from that, and you got back to the level that you were before that, and you were able to win medals, be able to go to the Olympics again. It's not easy to get to that, and that just shows like the dedication that you have to your sport and the dedication that you have to yourself and what you want to accomplish. That to me is inspiring to, you know, any woman who wants to work in the sports industry, who wants to be a professional athlete, but also wants to be things that a lot of women want, is to be a mother. And, you know, not a lot of women think that that's possible. Like, if I have kids, like, I'm never going to be able to run again. I'm never going to be able to do gymnastics again. I'm never going to be able to play volleyball again. Until you see somebody like Allison Felix who has done just that. You know, she had a baby and she still, you know, went to the Olympics and did her thing and is amazing. And she's probably one of the best, you know, Olympic track athletes, you know, ever.
Yeah.
She's somebody that, you know her name whenever you hear it.
And she's inspired women more than anything. And that's that, whether it be in track or basketball or whatnot, she's just truly paved the way. And she's spoken up, like we talked about athletes' voices. She's spoken up when uncomfortable, whether that was with Nike, whether that was Black Lives Matter, even years before social media and speaking up was a thing. She had always made sure to do that. So to all the women athletes, to all the mothers, you know, what y'all do is exceptional. You know, I admire it. Y'all's strength, y'all's courage. I'm a male, so I'll never know what it's like to carry a child or deal with that, but I know that it's mentally, physically, emotionally demanding. So shout out to Allison Felix, Serena, Sonia, all the women athletes who have had children and still are performing at the highest level in their respective sports. Y'all get all my flowers.
Another inspiring story that I wanted to talk about was the new movie Rise on Disney Plus. It's a movie following the life and the upbringing of the Antetokounmpo brothers.
There you go.
It starts all the way from, you know, their parents having to immigrate from Nigeria to Greece, and then the struggles that they face for being illegal immigrants in Greece, and Giannis and his brother finding the game of basketball. And Giannis sucked. Giannis didn't know anything about basketball, and he was absolutely horrible. He didn't even know what traveling was. He didn't know how to shoot, whatever. And then, you know, it showed his parents' financial struggles, almost losing their home, and then showed him how much harder he had to work to get his family out of that situation. Showed how he almost wasn't even able to go to the NBA draft because of his citizenship or lack of citizenship, and how tough that was to work through. And it's in a really amazing movie. It's on Disney Plus. Like, if any of our viewers want to watch it, you know, with your families, with your kids, totally family-friendly movie. It was a great movie. I watched it with my family last night, and it was just great. Just seeing, you know, there's a lot of sports movies out there that kind of like show the lives of athletes, or even fictional stories that we watch. But I think that was a really great portrayal of, you know, kind of a coming of age or rags to riches kind of story. And you look at, you know, all of the brothers now, and they're all, you know, playing basketball at one level or another.
Champions.
Yeah, three of them.
All three of them? Oh yeah, because the one.
One of them's on the Lakers, and two of them are on the Bucks. Yeah. And then I think Alex is in the G League, and I think the brother that was on the Lakers is in the G League again.
Yeah, Kofi.
Yeah, that was his name.
I mean, that just goes to show that, you know, and we mentioned it earlier, that athletes are more than just athletes. And granted, basketball is why we know Giannis and who he is. Before we knew Giannis and who he was broke. He had a struggle. You know, you mentioned they talk about his financial struggles and family things, and that's why it's important that we realize that athletes are more than just athletes, because they have stories to tell. And that's one thing I love about getting to, you know, like know the athletes and things like that, is that you get to know who they are, what they come from, what their background is like, the things that they went through to get to the points that where they at. All the people that we see, whether that's at LSU, whether it's an NBA, NFL, WNBA, whatnot, every single one of those athletes has a story to tell. And for some, their journey was smooth and a piece of cake. And well, not nobody's athlete journey is smooth and a piece of cake, but they didn't necessarily have to go through some of the struggles. And then there's guys like LeBron. There's guys like Giannis. There's guys who've come from literally nothing, who grew up without mom, dad, whatever their struggle was, who've overcome obstacle after obstacle to get to the point in which they are. So they deserve that right to tell their story, tell who they are, what they went through. But just I haven't watched the movie yet, but I do look forward to watching the movie because
It's on Disney Plus.
Yeah, it's on Disney Plus. I'm gonna watch it.
It's called Rise.
And just take something away from it. Realize that, like I said, these athletes are more than just athletes. They're humans. Their families are humans. They're not perfect people. They'll never be perfect people. And they've made it. And so hopefully that if you do get the chance to watch the movie, or if you've already watched it, you were able to take something away from it, positive, and really feel that inspiration from Giannis and his family.
All right. I think that'll wrap it up for us tonight. We will be going live from our own YouTube channel next week. So go subscribe to Clout Demonz. And then when we go live, give us a like, a follow, turn on our post notifications. You can follow us on social media at Clout Demonz. Ron is going to lead up getting some clips out for us on our YouTube channel, as well as all of our social media, so you can keep up with us there. And yeah, Jordy is in Atlanta this week for SEC Media Days. We will be going live from Atlanta tomorrow from 7 to 9. And then, mic'd up Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 6 to 8.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And Where My Dog's At with Rohan Davey on Thursdays, same time, 6 to 8, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And then we'll be back here next Sunday with another great show, hopefully another guest. And yeah, for Bree, TJ, Jamil, Ron, and Stewie, y'all have a great night. And we'll see y'all tomorrow on the JC Show.